Carol, thanks very much.
Carol. Now, if you're having trouble selling your house at the moment, you may well be considering renting it out instead.
Yeah, it's a growing trend, but do you really understand all the legal obligations of becoming a landlord? According to the property website Gumtree, many of us don't. Let's talk to Sarah Beeny, presenter of Channel 4's Property Ladder, who doubtless does. Good morning. Well, I hope you do, because you're here to talk about it this morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, people think, right, oh, that'd be good, but there are a lot of responsibilities, aren't there?
There are responsibilities, and I also think it's not as... I think sometimes people underestimate just how easy it is, and there's people who there is a perception of value around at the moment, which is not necessarily helpful, where people think, well, I can buy that house at a reduced rate because the market is as it is, but I don't want to sell my house for that much less because I'd be losing money. This concept of losing money, and so a lot of people at the moment are buying, but they're choosing to not sell their own house and wait until they perceive the market will be able to be picked up.
Or they see that place as a nest egg and think, if I can afford to buy another property and rent it out, then that's great, because, you know, who knows where we should be putting our money, and property in the long run may well be...
Absolutely, and ultimately there is a security about renting somewhere. Now, the only thing is that a lot of these people are very ill prepared. I'd say one thing, and that is that you need to make sure, if you are going to rent somewhere out, that it's a long-term 10-year plan, because interest rates won't stay at 0.5%. I think a lot of people think that they will.
Right. Yeah. What are the main mistakes people make then?
Well, the main mistakes people make is they don't get any tenancy agreements, they don't get their gas safety certificates, they don't get their energy performance certificates, they don't know all the legal requirements that you need, they're unaware of all the implications involved, and they also don't entirely understand the process of the fact that you are responsible for taking the rent in. If you can either use an agent, or you can do it yourself. But if you do it yourself, obviously it costs you less money, but there is a process that you have to go through.
On balance, and I wouldn't want you to sort of say either way particularly, but does the letting agent then deal with all of that on your behalf? Would they come to you and say, you need this, this and this, so actually you've got somewhere to go if you aren't that certain about what to do?
Yes, that's the reality, but of course they take a fee for that, so which is, you know, fair enough. But if you want to save the fee, and the agent will...
So where do you go if you don't want to go to a letting agent?
Well, there is Gumtree have got a piece of advice on their site, so that they've got so that you can find out what to do. On
there are tax implications as well, aren't there, which people tend to forget about too?
Well, that is a major thing that people forget about, because it is income, and ultimately income is taxable. So all your income, the income you earn at work is taxable, but income you get from a property is also taxable. So you have to bear that in mind.
Make sure you declare on that. And what happens if you don't have the right safety certificates and things? I mean, how will you get found out?
Well, ultimately, when things go wrong, that's the problem, and it's very messy. So you need to make sure that you do have them.
You can end up with a tenant who you might want to leave and who won't, and then you...
Yeah, well, if you don't have a tenant... I mean, the tenancy agreement is as much to protect you as the tenant, ultimately. Yeah. So you need to make sure that you're both protected. And certainly, I would really recommend no one takes rent without a tenancy agreement, because it's actually you that's in sort of deep water legally.
Yeah.
OK. Sarah, thank you very much.
Words to the wise. Thank you very much indeed.